Hi, meet again in this mental health tips session. And in this session, I'm going to give you something as important as all the other subjects that we have covered. It's very important. If you are being bullied terribly by your own stubborn negative thoughts, and you really need help, now it's time for you to understand the nature of your mind. You see, when it has so much of negative thoughts that you can't control it anymore, it is haunting you, it is pinning you down, and you want to know what to do. You can't just use concepts to overcome. Now, this is this. A negative mind cannot straight away become positive mind. It can't. It has to evolve. It takes time. A negative thought, it takes some time to go off, and then you can put in all the positive thoughts, and then you start feeling positive. So there is a time factor. This is what we call as the evolution of the mind from being reactive to being proactive. How do we do that? And we need to understand the mechanics of the mind. Now, when you are negative in that moment, it is seeking for release. It is seeking for release. And if you store it inside and suppress it, it will come out in a uglier way, where suddenly you find yourself getting angry for small things with your kid, with your wife, with your spouse, with your parents or staff, and later you will regret why you did that silly thing. So it's important that we understand that the mind is like an animal. It follows certain things. It is very honest by itself. It is very honest by itself. If it is angry, it's angry. But we may portray as if we are not angry on the outside, but the mind is still angry. It's just like someone who's very angry is telling himself, I got to be patient. Now, when an angry person is patient, it's different. That patience is not the real patience, because it's the patience of an angry person. And somewhere it will blow. It will burst. So the actual has to evolve. The actual mind condition has to evolve. The first level of the mind is when you are very negative, and you want to be positive. Release whatever thoughts that surfaces, whatever words. Release it in a safe way. The best way to release is to write it off, or to say it off somewhere where people are not listening, or to a counselor, or to a psychiatrist, where you are being open to them. When you are the moment you are open, it's considered like a therapy, right? Because that's what's required and when you are being open, that is not meant for judgment. Even you don't judge it. Just release it. Let's say you're affected by a boss and you feel like, I really hope this boss dies, meets with an accident and dies. I'm sorry. So you may think of those thoughts, but you will not say out. Okay, it looks like that's evil. And I'm not evil. So something here blocks sharing that. What I'm saying is, don't share that with people, but just release it in your own private corner. Release it. So first part of the mind is it needs to release. And if, let's say, the pain is high, or it's a high level of anger, you put the picture of the person somewhere and whack it and finish it. Hope nobody knows it. Or you imagine in your mind and scold the person. Doesn't matter. It is there. It's scolding already. Just release it. And become more conscious of what's really happening inside, rather than hiding it from your own self. Release it, because it needs to be released. It's waiting to be released. So you can't be releasing continuously. You can be just saying, and then it will go off. So first level of release is just release the emotion, thoughts, whatever that comes. Then, after you've exhausted that, Sometimes this release can take a long time, doesn't matter. Give the time, whatever it takes. Release. And after that, release the learning. Release the learning that came along with this. Now you're ready for a positive space because you've exhausted the negative. Now it's easier for someone to ask, so what did you learn? And you can easily now know, yeah, on my part, what I learned is this, that, this, that. And as you are talking about this learning, your vibration will be changing. It will be changing. Now you're looking at yourself already. Earlier you were looking at the other person and what made you angry, and you need to throw that anger on that person. All that was happening. Now you're looking at yourself. Okay, what did I learn? And when you start releasing your learning, then it will come to a point where you can ask yourself why this incident is actually a blessing that I can be thankful for. Just throw that question and you will have the intelligence to know it now. Earlier, no. Now you will know what to say. What's the blessing out of this? And as you say that, as you say how blessed it is, how it's good that this happened, as you're saying that, you will notice your vibration will be shifting to positive. You've converted the negative into positive inside you. And now you're ready for the fourth question, the final question. What is the best action to be done? What should you do? What's the best action that's for greater good? Good for you, good for others. Ask that question and wait, and you'll get the answer. It could be things like, okay, just forgive it. Or it could be like, all right, that's good. Now I'm going to do this. So some actions will surface in your mind. These actions are the ones that you have to follow, not the actions that came to you while you are at the release, where at the phase where you need to release the emotion. You see, that's what happens. Never try to settle things when the mind is in the first stage where it needs to release. So what will happen? Rather than solving the problem with the other person, it makes the problem bigger. That's what happens. Okay, let's talk it out. Let's talk it out is not a bad thing, but when after you've evolved and come to the fourth stage where you're ready to act, that's where you'll get the action. Let's talk it out. Now you will have a mind that is more positive to settle the issue. You will be more intelligent to settle the issue. So for that, I would like to recommend you, anytime you're disturbed, just take a piece of paper and write it out, squash it or burn it. Just imagine that it's gone. Release it. If the intensity is very high, punch it. Or talk in your mind, scold, shut the door and scold with whatever words that comes out of you until it is settled. But you must know that you are in a therapy. You're just doing it because it's a therapy. And something is waiting for you to exhaust and then get into learning. After that, blessing. Why it's a blessing? Gratitude part, and then action. So release emotion, release learning, release gratitude, release action. 4 levels of release. Follow what I say, and then you will see the transformation. And it's not the normal quick fix transformation. It is an organic transformation. So you can self-counsel and you can help others too. I just gave you one technique to counsel others who are in pain. Okay, with that, see you. Hope your life is getting better and better. Bye.